The chamber lights glowed harsh and bright, but nothing compared to the tension that gripped the room. Every camera was locked in, every reporter sat forward in their seat, and every breath seemed to hang in the air, because everyone knew that what was about to unfold wasn't just another congressional hearing, it was a collision of wills, pride, and unshakable conviction. And it began with a voice sharp enough to cut through steel. Congresswoman Maxine Waters leaned into her microphone, her tone a mix of impatience and authority. "Mr. Patel," she said, "you've come before this committee many times. Today, I expect real answers and not rehearsed talking points." Across the table sat Kash Patel, calm, collected, but clearly bracing himself. In recent months he'd become the lightning rod praised by some, criticized heavily by others. Now, under glaring lights, he was about to face one of his toughest interrogations yet. Waters paused, letting the silence stretch. It was a tactic she mastered decades ago. "Tell this committee why you continue to defend actions that many Americans believe undermine trust in our institutions." A murmur rippled through the room. The words were heavy, loaded, almost accusatory. Kash exhaled slowly. He chose not to respond immediately. Instead, he scanned the room at the rows of representatives, the crowd behind them, the journalists capturing every flicker of emotion. He seemed to understand that this moment wasn't just a question, it was a challenge, and maybe even a setup. Waters narrowed her eyes. "Well, we're waiting." The room braced itself. Cameras zoomed in, but instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, Kash leaned forward, a steady, almost serene. "With respect, Congresswoman," he began, "I'm not here to defend what people think. I'm here to tell the truth, even when it's inconvenient." Waters smirked, ready to fire back. "Truth? That's a bold claim coming from someone warm." But she stopped, because something happened next that no one saw coming. Kash reached into his folder slowly, deliberately, and pulled out a small stack of papers. Nothing flashy, nothing dramatic, but it immediately shifted the energy in the room. "These," he said, his voice unwavering, "are the documents your office requested from me last year. Documents you said I never provided. Documents that, according to your public statements, I was supposedly hiding." A shocked hum rustled through the audience. Waters blinked, visibly taken aback. "That's what exactly are you implying?" "No implications," Kash replied. "Only facts. Facts that show I submitted every required briefing, every report, every detail you asked for. They were delivered, signed, time-stamped, filed." He slid the papers forward. "And yet," he continued, "the narrative persisted that I refused to cooperate, that I was obstructing." "Congresswoman, with all respect, you can disagree with me, you can criticize me, but you don't get to rewrite events that your own office documented." Gasps, whispered reactions, even a few raised eyebrows on the committee bench. Waters froze, not angrily, not defiantly, but silently, because the truth Kash laid before her wasn't combative yet, it was undeniable. He continued, but softer now, as if choosing empathy over combat. "We all serve the American people, and right now, those people are tired of division, tired of accusations, tired of leaders fighting instead of listening. I don't want to be part of that problem." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. "I want to be part of the solution. So if I've been misunderstood, or if my efforts weren't clear enough, let today fix that." The room was utterly still. Even Waters, long known for her quick retorts and razor-sharp exchanges, appeared momentarily speechless. She stared at the papers, her expression softening and not defeated, but reflective. Finally, she cleared her throat. "Mr. Patel, the committee will review these documents." It wasn't an admission, it wasn't praise, but it was the closest thing to a reset anyone expected, and in that moment, under the harsh lights and relentless cameras, something unusual happened. The atmosphere shifted from hostility to something more human, more real. This hearing, meant to be another political clash, became a reminder that integrity can sometimes disarm even the fiercest opponents. As the session wrapped up, Reporters scrambled to interpret what they witnessed. Some framed it as Patel holding his ground, others saw it as Waters reconsidering her approach. But those inside the chamber felt something different. The rare silence that follows truth spoken plainly. Outside the building, evening sun spilled across the steps. Kash walked out, greeted by supporters, critics, and cameras alike, yet he carried himself with an unmistakable calm. He didn't boast, he didn't celebrate, he simply said, "I hope today moved us closer to honesty." That's all I ever wanted, and maybe, just maybe, that sincerity left more than one person speechless. In the end, the message was clear: powerful moments aren't always loud. Sometimes, the strongest statement is simply choosing integrity when the world expects a fight.